All right, guys, it's your boy Ed Diaz here again. So, guess what? Today I have a very, very special guest. We're going to be talking about some stuff that's a little bit more what I call heart centric as opposed to technical stuff. Sometimes you see me talking about the economy and interest rates, boring, boring, boring. This stuff is a little bit more long term, more right brain kind of stuff, which, by the way, I absolutely love. And I can't think of a better person to have this conversation than my guest today, Lisa Taylor of Hive Holistic. How you doing, Lisa?
Hello, I'm great. Thanks for having me. So excited to
Yeah,
be here.
thank you very much. It sounds like besides having that mirror sun that you have behind you, that there's a lot of sun coming
The
from your right side
window.
as well, huh?
That's right.
So
Yeah,
you're all
I
about the
park
light today.
all about the light. Always, always. But
Oh,
yeah, I
it's
have
very
this
symbolic.
beautiful window that I park
Nice.
myself by to remind myself to look outside, to be in nature when I can,
Mm,
and get some
soak it
sunlight while
all
I
up.
work.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. I love it. Very, very good. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how long have you been in this line of work with Hive Holistic and really been doing that kind of energy work?
Yeah. So I'm a coach. I also do healing work and I work with clients one on one and in group settings. And I have been doing this kind of work since about 2019. I experienced a huge amount of life shifts in a small amount of time. I started my company as the Hive Marketing in 2012. Uh, Over the years, a lot of big things happened. I got married. I moved across the state. I used to be in the Bay Area and now I'm in LA. Became a parent overnight, got divorced. Meanwhile, I was running my business. So I needed to find tools to keep this all going. I am a very determined person. I'm very ambitious. So I was like, I got to do it all, which is kind of a fallacy. But
Of
in the meantime, found tools to be able to help myself and to help heal myself through all these really big challenges. And there's a lot of foundational things that I recommend to my clients. I've created a whole coaching program around it. I've even done workshops with you, Ed, and other business owners because these tools are not just for your personal life, they're for your business. So that's what I'm doing.
That's awesome. And I really love the fact that your workshops and your tools came out of real life situations that you personally have felt and lived through because there's no better perspective to help someone than somebody's already been there. It's like, how do
Right.
you give parenting advice if you never had a kid, for example, right? You've never reared or raised one. It's
Yeah,
impossible. No matter
it's
how much
impossible.
you think you can do and you're great at writing, the reality is that nothing replaces real world experience. And I'm so blown away by how much you've taken on over the time that I've known you. And more importantly, how much you've overcome. And here you are with the smile, and you got the tools now. And because you're
Yeah.
such a giving and empathetic person, you've taken your, well, let's just call it this. We went from mess to message, right?
I like
Right. We
that. Yeah.
converted into a message. And now you got these great tools that you're teaching people. So, one thing I want to talk to you about is a singular word that for a lot of people, it eludes them. And
Mm.
it's a journey, and that's happiness, right? It's how
Hmm.
do we
Hmm.
achieve happiness? We have so much negativity going on right now all over the world. We see the amount of violence, the ever growing separation between the haves and have nots, people re-engineering their lives. We have, of
Yeah.
course, COVID-19 and its many brothers and sister iterations thereof, right? The thing that seems to
Nonstop,
never
never
want to go
ending.
away, right?
Yeah.
And there's just so many challenges that we're
Yeah.
seeing. And it's created a kind of heaviness in the atmosphere of planet Earth, right? All over. It's not just here in the United States, it's all over the place. So,
Mhm.
with all your years of experience and all the things that you've gone through, and now with your coaching programs, what are some of the tools that you're giving people to be able to kind of not only refocus, but kind of reset their hearts, right?
Yeah.
Because it's heavy.
Totally heavy. Um, so number one is you need to take care of yourself. And it's such an easy thing to forget, especially when you have children and pets and business and partners and this and that and pandemic. Like it's easy to extract yourself from you. So it's really about coming back to yourself. There's so many ways to do this. Everyone should have a meditation practice or a breathing practice. If you don't have one, let's talk immediately, because it will change your life. And this is stuff that comes from ancient yogis, ancient Egyptians.
Yeah.
The basic humans living on this planet have all had this practice, and we have to continue that going into the future because we need it. So I think starting there, coming back to you, can lead to more happiness, because if you're living outside of yourself, if you're living with the filter of only a pandemic, or only the politics happening, or only this, that, and the other, you get distracted from you and what you're
Good
doing
point.
here. So a practice, number one, it can be meditation, it can be journaling, it can be dancing, it can be basketball. Like, people have all forms of a practice to come back to
Coffee.
you. Coffee, right? I know. I love coffee and have a whole ritual with
Yeah,
it.
totally. Yeah.
So
That
find
seems to
it.
be my medication. That's my system.
Hey, if that's what gets you to focus and breathe and be back to you, there's nothing wrong with that. I would just say in moderation.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. You mean
But
only 20
yeah.
cups a day?
So you're like bouncing instead
Just
of
kidding.
breathing.
I talk about it more than I actually do it. The reality
I
is that
know.
I have 2 cups a day. That's it. But I talk about it as if I'm drinking
As if you're
20.
like a fiend.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
So I think if you're able to do these things, you can find happiness through any situation. Because like, one thing that is so true is, there are some of us that will do well despite any circumstance.
Yeah.
And there
Yeah.
are those that will do horribly when things are amazing, when there's no pandemic. So like, choose who you want to be.
Yeah. And I think, the other thing too is you got to recognize the amount of emotional resilience that you have in your tank right now.
That's
And
true.
if it's low, then work on that. Like one of the things that I do, I'm a very
100%.
emotional empath kind of person, right? So one of
Yeah.
my mechanisms is building tribe. The moment I feel stressed out
Yeah.
or sad or whatever, I reach out. That's
Beautiful.
hence the coffee times, right? I'll call
Right?
somebody and go, hey man, you up for some coffee? They don't know that I'm using this because I feel
No.
sad or something. I just want to be in their presence to fill
Yeah.
my emotional tank. And by the way, guys, building tribe is such a huge way to be able to build happiness, because the truth of the matter is that when you're on your deathbed, you're not going to be talking about, oh man, I'm so glad I bought that car in that color, or I got that extra bonus at work, or I got the
Yeah.
promotion. You're going to be thinking about the people that you love, and all the experiences are going to go through your head like a movie, right? You're going to remember all
100%.
those times. So build them now, right? Because it's
Mhm.
to be able to attract a great friend, you got to be a great friend.
Yeah.
And you got to understand that you're not alone going through all these things. We're all going through this stuff. Even some of the people that act like everything's perfect and they're doing the Instagram perfect, right? The reality is we all go through this right here.
Yeah.
Every one of us, financial, emotional, physical, all of it. We all go through that. And the other part too is use your resources, like folks like
Yeah.
Lisa, that this is what they
Absolutely.
do, is to maybe help you see things that you don't see.
We all have blind spots. It's part of our human experience.
100%.
And just to add on to that, there's a lot of stats about loneliness during the pandemic. There was a recent Harvard survey, and 36% of American adults report serious feelings of loneliness frequently or almost all the time. So if you're
Wow.
feeling that, it's totally normal. There's nothing wrong with you. We're all kind of feeling lonely, right? We're still in
Yeah, totally.
isolation, many parts of
Totally.
the country. So there's nothing wrong. It's just a matter of, like you say, Ed, when you're feeling those things, what is the response? The response is for you to reach out to someone, place a phone call, have coffee, do something healthy for yourself. I think this time of the pandemic has really highlighted where we've been unhealthy. So now we can shift. Where can we make that more healthy? And that's beautiful. Reaching out to people is amazing.
So how do people get a hold of you, Lisa? And by the way, on
Yeah.
those stats, I don't know if you happen to have this or not. Do you
Yeah.
have like charts or anything like that where it shows loneliness so that people can kind of see
Yeah,
if there
I do.
happens
Let
to
me
be?
share my screen.
That'd be
So there's this whole loneliness scale, believe it or not.
oh wow. Okay.
Loneliness is so prevalent. There's a
Loneliness. There's
scale.
actually a scale. Okay.
So let me
I've never
change the
seen this before.
orientation, right? Yeah, it's quite interesting. So this loneliness scale, okay, here it is, measures at a certain number, the score of 43 or higher is indicative of being considered lonely by this UCLA study. And
Okay.
so the respondents participate, they answer questions, they're tallied up, and that's how this scale works.
Oh, I see.
What I thought was really interesting, though, too, is when they brought this into 2020, mothers in particular experience the most loneliness. 51% of mothers with young children feel lonely frequently or almost all the time.
That makes
And,
sense to me because they don't have
right?
adult interaction.
No adult interaction. You're stuck at home with the kids. The kids are doing school from home. Your husband's at work at home. And like, it's hard to get out. It's hard to leave
Totally.
the house if you're in this situation.
100%.
So, totally reasonable if you're feeling lonely, totally expected. It's a really difficult time. The other stat that I thought was cool to look at is the loneliness in young people, because
Mm.
I don't know about you, but
Whoa.
yeah, 61% of young people aged 18 to
61%.
25, yeah, feel lonely frequently or almost all the time. And same reasons, right? They're stuck at home. They can't go visit friends. They're not in school and
Well,
classes.
can
A
I
lot of,
add something
yeah, go
that's
ahead.
like hitting me in the face?
Yeah.
Well, if 61% of young people between 18 to 25 feel lonely, what does that say about the truth of social media? Okay,
Right.
let me tell you something. You do not have 7,000 friends.
No.
Okay, let me be very clear. You do not have 7,000, 7 million, whatever it is, followers, friends. Friends are people you can go and hug and kiss and interact with that have been there through thick and thin. And then when things get tough, they're going towards you, not away from you. That's
Yeah.
a true friend. No strings. You don't have to jump
Yeah.
through hoops and be a circus monkey to maintain the friendship. It just is. Those are real
Yeah.
friends. And
And
I
if
call them part of tribe members, right? They're part of your tribe.
totally, and if that isn't true for you, time to find new friends.
Yeah. And also redefine what friendship is.
Friendship. 100%. Yeah. Get
We were talking, Lisa, about
defined.
how
Yeah. Write it down. What are you, those
totally
qualities,
write it
right?
down. Yeah. It's so funny how we use all these techniques to interview for employees at companies, and we use all this vetting, but we never have any vetting criteria for friendships, which really is the longer term human relationship and
Connection.
interaction.
Yeah. 100%.
Write it down.
Write
What
it
are the
down.
things you're looking for in friends and you're part of your
Yeah.
tribe, and go get those? Because if guess what, if you don't have a site to hit, a mark to hit, you're going to be shooting all over the place.
Yeah. And when you actually write things down, a physiological thing happens from the brain through the body onto the paper
Yes,
versus typing,
crystallization.
even, right? Like
Yeah.
typing doesn't do this. The
Mm-mm.
hand has to move on the
Very true.
paper, and that will actually bring your idea, your wish into reality. Like,
100%, because it crystallizes in your brain.
and your
That's
brain
why.
is now like, this has happened. And then all of the
Mm-hmm.
things conspire to make that happen for
Couldn't
you. So
agree
that
more.
it's pretty magical to do that kind of exercise
Couldn't
in
agree
addition
more.
to physiological.
Yeah. And the old saying is, if it's not in writing, it doesn't exist. So
Right.
go out there, utilize these brief little tools, and then contact Lisa. Her phone number is right next to her
Yes.
name. Contact her for a free consultation. Talk to her
I have a ton of
because she's
ideas. I
great. And
do,
I know you
yeah,
do
a ton
because
of
you've
things.
actually helped me and also some of my team members that I've hired to gain
Yeah.
clarity around a lot of things. So I want to personally thank you, because this is not just an interview. This is a real life testimonial and experience
Oh,
that I've seen firsthand. So I want to thank you for that. And I want to thank you for getting on this to bless all that social media world that is out there. There's tons of people out there that I know. Some of them are
yeah.
suffering in silence. Don't suffer in silence.
No
Come out of
need.
that,
No
come
need,
out of that
guys.
closet, man, and go get yourself some happiness, because it's out there.
Right? Yeah. And please reach out. I'm here to be a resource. I'm here to be of service. I have a ton of tools. We can always talk for 30 minutes and you'll leave with lots of great things
I
to
love it.
do. that can help
Perfect.
you. So,
Sounds great. Well, you have a great day
yeah,
and thank you again so much.
thank
You take care.
you.
Bye bye.
Okay, bye.